I'm Alex.
And I'm Teddy.
And I'm Spencer.
And we are
The Button Mappers.
Hey, the Button Mappers.
I'm Alex.
And I'm Spencer. And that was my impression of Teddy.
And where's Teddy?
Usually he follows you, but this time I'm following you.
Welcome to the first episode of the Button Mappers where Teddy's not here.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh, poor Teddy.
He will be missed. But I don't think he can handle The Last of Us. Scariest game ever.
Teddy's first in my heart, so he can't be here last, you know.
We should get out all of our last jokes.
Yeah, all of the just spill them out now so we don't have to do the rest of the map out.
If you ain't first, you're last.
Oh god, Talladega Nights.
Yeah.
Remember that movie?
Yeah. That was a movie. I don't have any more. They'll probably pop up as we go.
Yeah, they'll probably something stupid. Welcome to the Last of Us map out. We are jumping on the bandwagon because Last of Us 2 is coming out.
Yeah. Hoping to get them clicks.
Hoping to get them some clicks.
No, I think it's safe to say both of us are pretty big fans of this game.
Yeah, not even this game. I'm a big fan of Naughty Dog. So that's something else too, you know.
Then that means that you looked at this game way differently than I did. You come from a Naughty Dog background. I don't really.
Okay.
So did you have hype coming into this based on like their previous work, Crash Bandicoot and so on and so forth?
Obviously I'm a huge Crash Bandicoot fan, and then I also loved Jak and Daxter and Uncharted to a lesser extent, but I do enjoy those games too. So whenever they put this game out, I'll be honest, at first I was a little like put off because that was around the same time as like the Walking Dead boom and like a bunch of other like zombie horror, you know, things were like happening. You know what I mean? Like that era where like it was just zombies everywhere for a while. So I was like, another zombie game? Are you kidding me? And like
that was like the last generation we had was first person shooters. Second was zombies.
It was just zombies, yeah. And I remember this was coming out like the exact same time as BioShock Infinite, and I was way more hyped for that game than I was this game. But I did give it a try because I was like, okay, it's Naughty Dog. I'll give it a try. And oh my god, was I pleasantly surprised.
Yeah. Well, it's so funny you just mentioned the BioShock Infinite thing. Because when I first got back into console gaming at the very, very end of the PlayStation 3 lifespan, the first game I played was BioShock Infinite.
Okay.
And the second game I played was this one.
Well, yeah, it's like they're like the same time.
Yeah.
Because I was so hyped for BioShock Infinite, a game that I was. It's a lit down for me. I don't really care for Infinite that much, but
I liked it, but
and then this game, the game that I was like, oh, really a zombie game, ended up being the better of the two for me.
Yeah.
So.
Really question that I've always wondered, do you think they made this not exactly a zombie game just to separate itself, or do you think there was more to it than that?
You know that the virus in this game was like an actual thing, right?
Like it's like for
ants. Ants and and like insects. I think they did to kind of, because like once again, like The Walking Dead was just like everywhere at that time, and like Dead Island and a bunch of other those other crappy zombie games were out. So yeah, I would say they probably did.
But ironically, everyone just refers to it as the best zombie game ever made.
Well, honestly, I think it's one of the best like story-driven games ever made.
Oh, this game represents the newer guard of storytelling in video games, where it's like, okay, we've had a whole bunch of console releases and stuff where everything is so jokey and or just overly macho and stupid, and then this one was like, let's make a story about a parent.
Yeah, let's make a story about characters.
Yeah.
About people,
Yeah. And maybe the Uncharted dabbled in. I haven't played much Uncharted, but this is the first one for me where it was like, wow, they're really taking it seriously.
Uncharted dabbled in being more cinematic, which I think definitely helped to build towards this. Jak and Daxter, I think, also, as edgy as those games were for like the 2000s, edgy platformer games, but they also dabbled in like the storytelling a little bit. But Uncharted really like set itself up as like an action movie. It felt like you're playing like Indiana Jones or something, you know.
Yeah.
So that really helped to like really like accept like bring forward like the dialogue, make things feel natural, and I believe this game was one of the first ones to be fully motion captured, right?
Oh, I didn't know that.
I
know it was because I remember seeing the
Yeah,
making
I believe
of videos.
it's something like that, or like one of the first like really commercialized ones, you know, to really be like a fully motion captured experience where where the voice actors played the characters, you know.
Right.
So I think that definitely helped.
Dang, that's interesting.
So we had a long journey to the west. We should just hop in.
Let's do it.
So how does this game open, Spencer?
This game opens in Joel's hometown,
Good old Texas. Yeehaw.
Austin, Texas.
Yeehaw.
He's a Texan, but he's a little bit liberal.
Okay.
That's what Austin is. And he is talking to his daughter, who has given him a gift.
Oh, so nice. It's his birthday, isn't it?
Yeah, it's his birthday. And me and my friend JD, we quote this scene all the time. We say, "I say hardcore drugs." 'Cause I think that's a just funny little line.
That they did a good job with the character of Sarah in this scene because I feel like a lot of, especially video games, like getting like a teenage girl, like getting that kind of humor and attitude, like they do it like wrong a lot of times, you know. They
Yeah.
make them too bratty, or they're just like way too like whatever, you know. But this like that joke alone, like it shows that like she is a character, and like it kind of, I was like, oh okay, I'm buying into this.
Yeah. And I mean, this chapter isn't very long, but it's probably one of the most memorable.
Oh my god.
She goes to sleep, and now you're playing as Sarah.
Yeah.
Did you know this is the only time you ever play as Sarah?
Did you know? Yeah, she gets a phone call, right?
Yes.
And it's her Uncle Tommy.
Yeah.
She's like, "Yo, where's your dad?" And she's like, "What?"
I guess we should say, and this kind of goes without saying with most map outs, but definitely on this one, because it's such a story-based game that spoilers will literally be in every single thing we talk about.
If you haven't played this game and you want to, just turn off the map out.
Yeah, you really should,
that's all I
especially with the
gotta
new one
say.
coming out.
Yeah, no, you should experience this game for yourself. But if you've played it, or if it's been a while since you've played it, I would stick around and listen.
Yeah.
So yeah, Tommy calls and wakes her up and asks for Joel.
Which Joel eventually does run in and has to shoot his neighbor.
Oh my god! Yeah. Well, first you see like an explosion at the
Right.
window, right? And you're like, what is happening? Yeah. Then she like you kind of explore the house a little bit as Sarah, which just kind of neat, just kind of see what's in the bathroom and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, going upstairs, you finally do see Joel run in through like the sliding glass door in like the kitchen, and yeah, he shoots the neighbor, and Sarah's like, what the hell's going on?
You eventually get rounded up with his brother, your uncle, I guess because you're Sarah.
Yeah.
And you're taken on an excursion through town, trying to get out of the city, and everything's gone to shit. It's like you would expect from like a zombie horror movie.
I really like this segment too because like
it's great.
you're playing as Sarah in the back of the car while like there's the adults up front talking, and you just kind of like you feel like you're like watching everything from her angle because like you're like stuck in the back of the car. You can look out the windows and like see everything around you. Like there's stuff you can miss during this part. And like I don't know, it just kind of feels like everything's out of your control, you know.
And it's a really great way of teaching you how to play the game without teaching you how to play the game.
Yes.
Because it gets you used to using you press the L stick in and then it'll target like what you want to look at. It does that, I think, a couple times. So you get to see points of interest, which is really cool. So I guess we'll get to it. The car.
I guess we'll get to
The car flips. You have to get pulled out, and you are no longer playing as Sarah because Sarah is hurt.
Yeah,
And Joel, you are now playing as Joel, who you will be playing with for the rest of the game. Well, most of the rest of the game. And he picks you up, and you are now need to escort her out of the city. And you split up with your brother. He's holding off some infected, or what you would assume is that at this point.
Yes.
and you make your way out of the city. Congratulations!
You're free. You did it. Everything's great.
Except not. And this scene of you walking your daughter out is so important. It completely shapes the entire game.
Oh my god.
Which is so great and beyond anything that was being made at the time. It maybe made sense. It's amazing. But yeah, you carry your daughter out, run into a military man. He determines that she's hurt, and blammo.
He fires. The military is firing on civilians.
Yeah.
This scene is hard to watch.
Yeah.
And I couldn't imagine being like a parent and watching this. You know?
Yeah, like actually having somebody that you love.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah.
Like actually having children and trying to watch this scene, because like, you know, we're kind of beating around the bush, but they shoot Sarah, and it's a very tear-jerking moment.
Yes.
The acting's done really well. Like, she kind of, what gets me is that, like, you know, after he's like trying to check on her and stuff, and she's like whimpering, you know, I was like, oh my god.
I don't think I've seen a scene like this in movies.
Yeah. It's very rare that like a death is pulled off so well. But in a video game, oh my god, like that's an achievement all itself. Like, I was playing this game for the first time, and I was like, okay, zombie game, whatever. I got to this moment, and like that happens, and he's like, you know, like holding her, and he's like, don't do this, you know, whatever, and crying, and then it cuts to like the title of the game, and I was sitting there like, oh my god, what am I playing? I thought this was a zombie game.
Yeah. It's amazing, and it completely elevates itself above any other zombie game ever made. So, or movie, honestly.
Yeah, or movie. It's, oh my god, this is like one of those scenes that like you could show somebody this opening scene and they're immediately hooked. You know, they're like, I have to see the rest of the story.
All right, we're ready to fast forward.
Yeah, so after the title sequence, we move on to our next chapter, the quarantine zone.
It's 20 years later.
20 years. This is something I like about this game, because when you first meet Joel, he's what, like 30-something, maybe?
Probably something around there.
So yeah, so he's like 50 or something in the rest of the game. What game has a protagonist like that? It's like
Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah, but even that's convoluted. I want to talk about MGS4. God.
The less said about 4, the better.
Yeah, the less said about 4. I don't want to talk about that game at all.
Let's just say that Joel is better than Solid Snake in Metal Gear Solid.
Oh my god. Yeah, Joel is he's roughed up. The world has been a little, you know, apocalypsed, I guess we'd say.
Yeah.
But
it's still like there's still a city. There's still some form of government.
Yeah.
They've quarantined everybody. So they have big gates you can't walk past without like getting talked to, and you know, where's your reason? Yada yada yada. There's still buildings, although I'm sure they're not well kept, and as what we've seen. And people are kind of surviving, as it were.
And this is Boston, by the way.
Yes. Yeah. He now lives in Boston, which I love the architecture of Boston.
More than a feeling. Sorry.
So you're looking for Robert because Robert he's stolen all your guns, right?
Yeah, you're a smuggler. We should get that out there. You are Joel is working as a smuggler.
Yeah.
This part of the game, I feel kind of like it could have explained itself better. I know that like you're a smuggler and stuff, because like it starts talking about like Robert, and it starts talking about like you know, you meet his partner Tess, and then you start meeting, you know, it starts talking about like the two factions, right?
Yeah. I would agree that I think this game feels too much like a Walking Dead episode. It's like it's like we're badasses and smugglers, and we got to find Robert and get to. It's like I don't really know these characters that well, and I don't really care.
Yeah,
Per se.
At this part, you're back with Joel, so I want to know what's happening with Joel. But yeah, it's like, like they're talking about the Fireflies, and I'm like, who are the Fireflies? And they're talking about Robert, and I was like, who's Robert?
Yeah. Turns out not that important.
Yeah, this stuff does not matter that much.
Yeah.
So it's kind of good that like they didn't go into detail with some of it.
But it's a cool journey getting to him, and here's where you can sort of see this game bewilders me at how long it must have taken, because every single area is so detailed.
Oh my god,
and different.
Just going through like the slums area and seeing all the different people and stuff.
Yeah,
it makes the world feel like, I don't know, alive, as alive as this world can feel.
Yeah. So you're finding Robert, and you go through again the slums. You go through some infected spore areas where you have to wear the face mask so you don't get infected. Yeah. And you kill stuff on the way. Not much yet, but you learn how to do it. You get the guns and everything, and eventually you make it to the slums where you will find Robert. And by the way, you're with Tess.
Yes.
Now, Tess is your partner for the the first basically season of the game, or a little bit less actually. But she is. What is? Are they like boyfriend and girlfriend, husband and wife?
They never specify. They kind of hint at it. They never specify what exactly they are to each other. But for all we know, this is the only person that Joel has really lit into his life during this point.
Yeah.
So.
And you'll quickly learn how violent and visceral this game is when Joel's beating people up.
Oh my god.
It's not like nothing I've ever seen.
Oh my, yeah, no, Joel, I guess where he's, he's old age, he's withered, not really, malnourished. You can tell, like, whenever you're doing, like, the combat and stuff, whenever you get to get up and personal, like, he's struggling,
Yeah.
Like, he's surviving. It's not like not like oh, I'm so big and tough, put him up. He's like, oh my god, I have to, like, if I don't do this, I'm going to die.
Exactly. So you do find Richard and beat the ever-living piss out of him. It's pretty violent. And it turns out he sold all the weapons to the Fireflies. To a lady named Marlene. Who's actually right there.
Yeah.
That's really convenient.
She's there. Just hanging out.
They don't have to go very far. Maybe 2 steps. That's called storytelling. I don't know. That's quite a thing, but whatever. And they follow her to meet the most important character in the game, Ellie.
Ellie?
Who, of course, looks exactly and sounds exactly like, what's her face? That actress.
Ellen Page.
Ellen Page. Who was in a movie. Who was in a video game at the same time.
Oh my god, that was so confusing for me. Because, because Beyond Two Souls was like out at this point, I believe. And I was like, wait, so that's a Sony game with Ellen Page, and this is a Sony game with a character that's not Ellen Page, that looks just like Ellen Page?
Right.
I was like, what? What's happening?
And Ellen Page, it should be noted too, Ellen Page was a pretty big deal at the time this came out.
Oh yeah, dude.
She's kind of fallen off, but at the time, I mean, you had Juno, Hard Candy, all these movies.
Was it? She did Whip It, right? The roller skating one.
Oh, was she in that?
Yeah, that was hers too, I believe.
Yeah, she was in more. I don't know. Those to me are the standouts, but Juno especially was like,
yeah, Juno was her big leaping
huge
point. So I could see why they wanted to model the character after her. And I don't know if there was any legal trouble with that, but I'm glad that like there wasn't any issues, I guess.
Yeah.
But yes, you meet Ellie.
She has the distinction of, well, they don't reveal that yet, right? Should we?
No, we shouldn't.
We should hold off.
Should talk about that. We should mention the fact that this game also, during this chapter, it also introduces you to the combat, but also introduces you to the idea that you can play the game either with stealth or without.
Yeah.
That's a very important part of the gameplay.
And I'll say from here on, I mean, from I'll just say for here that I played this game the first time on normal, and then this most recent time, I just really, really recently played it just so we could talk about it. I played it on easy, and easy is crazy how much stuff they give you. They give you everything you'll ever need. I was like constantly full on everything and mowing people down like a boss.
Yeah, I don't know. I put it on normal, and I tried it on realistic, but oh my god, that's a glutton for punishment. Tell you what.
Yeah. I would recommend normal. It's not too hard, but it also keeps that sense of panic and fear.
So Marlene introduced you to Ellie, and what is the deal with Ellie? What do they want you to do?
They want you to take her to the Fireflies.
Okay. In return, I take it they'll give the stuff back, right?
Yes, they will give you the guns and then some.
Ooh.
I always like hearing and then some.
Maybe like a pack of
and then,
crackers,
and then,
yeah.
and then one.
Yeah. I'll give you the guns and then some. They like hand you like a marshmallow.
Yeah.
You enjoy that. Joel's just like chomping on a marshmallow.
You earn that marshmallow.
Nom. I like the idea of Joel eating a marshmallow. I don't know why that's funny. He's just so desperate for like nourishment.
Yeah. So you end up leaving, and now you're on your journey to escort Ellie to where exactly right now? Because obviously this changes a couple times.
Yeah.
But where do officially they need to take her?
I forgot where the exact place is for the first bit. I'm not sure.
Let me take a gander real quick. Something they need to smoke. Oh, right. To Boston's Capitol building.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, the Capitol building.
And I remember what happened there. So
yes, I knew that. Why did I forget that?
Yeah. So as they're doing it, they're having to dodge like a SWAT team or like the elite guards going around, and they do get caught. And they apparently they have like barcodes on them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they scan them, and then they manage to knock them away or whatever and beat them up and kill them. But Tess notices the scanner that the soldier had been using is beeping. And what that means is that Ellie is infected because they scanned her. And it means that Ellie is infected. Oh no, you gave us infected cargo?
Yeah. Oh.
I don't believe this shit.
What in the world?
Well, here's where Ellie reveals she's been infected for weeks.
Yeah, she's fine.
She hasn't turned yet, which everyone's freaking out now because that means that she might be the key to the cure. Yeah.
I don't know.
Robert Smith is just smiling.
I don't know how many zombie stories I've seen with that element either. With like one of the main characters being the cure in a way.
Yeah, there aren't that many. You think that'd be kind of a common one, but I
yeah.
don't recall
Usually it's
seeing
just like, oh, if we get to this location, they have the cure. Then they get there and it's all like burned to shit or something. Yeah. It's always like, oh, the world's doomed.
Oh no!
It's like every season of The Walking Dead is just like, this place is safe. This place isn't safe anymore. Let's go. It's like every fucking episode.
Yeah. So next they go downtown through and the main thing here is a big building.
Oh,
and
you
I
know
love
that's like
this.
collapsed.
Yeah,
Oh
dude,
my
it's
God,
like the whole thing is like collapsed onto like a side, so everything's tilted.
This is what's
awesome.
nuts about this game is that like just that like from an art direction standpoint is oh my God, like they could have just been lazy and like just made like a random empty building and stuff and we're gonna cut through this place, but like just like there's moments where like the buildings like there's like chunks open on the side and you can see like the other buildings and stuff like that from that angle and there's like other ways and it just looks amazing.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
It just bleeds story. The world.
Yeah, exactly. Like I could just look at that and be like, "Oh my God, I want to know what happened here." Like what is the story here?
Yeah, also to add to that, when you're walking around, you can see nature slowly starting to retake the buildings and stuff. There's like vines growing everywhere, and it's just great to see. And then, of course, as you're, scaling around through the buildings, you can open drawers, look at things, and you see little hints of people that used to be there and what their lives were like.
Yeah. I mean, I would even argue like just the effect of themselves, which we haven't talked about them much, but they're even like, we said that like they're different than normal zombies because they have like a fungus parasite
Yeah.
type deal. So even they like look distinctly more like natural in a way.
Yeah, and I get that's a really great segue into what we're facing here. So we get kind of a good picture of what we're fighting throughout the game. There's infected here, and there's clickers. So infected aren't yet mushroom-headed or whatever. I like to call them mushroom-headed because that's what it looks like to me.
Yeah.
Clickers are the ones that their face is actually completely been overtaken by a plant and is now like... They basically look like what Toad would look like if he was real.
Yeah, if Toad was in like a Resident Evil game or something.
Yeah. It's killing me!
If Barry Burton had to kill Toad.
Yeah.
Take this, you plant!
Yeah. It's awesome. So infected, they're like still people. They're just brains aren't good, and a lot of times, especially on easy, they're just
brains aren't good.
They're just like sulking. They're going.
Doctor, what happened? His brains aren't good. I'll tell you that.
Brains no good, pal. But clickers can only hear through echolocation. So
Yes,
it's a great little.
they're terrifying.
Yeah, and of course they're called clickers because they click.
Yeah, it's like a bat. It's like a sonar type thing.
I always wonder if that's a better way to see.
So, if you watch or read like Daredevil comics, like like that's his powers, right? Is like he's blind, so he can like sense things better. I don't get it.
Yeah.
I mean, like I get that like your senses are heightened, but
Yeah.
like,
Do you want me to explain echolocation?
go ahead.
So echolocation works by, again, you make a sound like a click, but your brain has the ability to sense when that click returns to you.
So like bounces.
So so the sound bouncing. So if you're standing still and you click and something takes 2 seconds to get back to you, and then you click again and it takes 1 second, it means the thing is getting
it's
closer.
to you. Yeah. Okay. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Which makes for a really interesting villain because it gives you like a gameplay mechanic that you can walk near them. You just have to walk very, very slowly.
Yes. This is where like this chapter I think is one of the ones that like you have to do stealth. Like there's no way around that. Even though I've tried, I was playing one time with my sister, and she gets so anxious watching me play because I like to like mess around a lot. So like I would like I was all out of ammo, and I was like shit. So I grabbed like a brick or something, and I threw it at it, and then I would just keep running in circles and like picking things up and throwing them at it and like running away as fast as I could. And she was like, "Oh my god, you're gonna die!" And I was like, "I got this." It's funny.
But you can never get away, huh?
No, I did end up dying, but she's like, stop, play it the way it's supposed to be played, and I'm like, but I'm having fun, man.
Yeah. Really great scene. Probably again one of my favorites of the game. It just everything great about The Last of Us is right here in this scene of you just sneaking around. You get some opportunities to fight, yada yada yada. We
should also note that like while you're walking around and stuff, like the characters do have like banter between them, which is a really nice effect. And all the time, like a lot of the banter during this is mainly like Ellie being a kid, she's what, like 14, something like that. Yeah, and Joel just being like come on, we gotta go. Joel just doesn't care.
And Tess would be like the link between you.
Yeah.
Between you and Ellie. Just being like, we gotta help her.
Yeah.
I don't care why. But also, I'm also a badass.
Yeah. I'm also a badass, but I'm also caring.
Yeah.
But yeah, Joel just, doesn't give a shit about this kid. He's like, come on, we need to just drop her off.
You go through the museum next. It's more of the same to me. But it's great. But it's just more of that. I don't know if there's anything super interesting other than it being a museum. You get some events where you get separated. That's kind of cool. But so the gamer in me knows that they're going to be fine because I could do nothing to help them. So to me the tension kind of is ruined.
Yeah. Yeah, it's different than watching a movie or something.
Yeah. Like in a movie, it could be like, oh, and she died while we were out there. Oh, no.
Yeah.
But to me, it's like, oh, I just got to find them. So I'll just take my sweet time collecting
Do.
things.
Oh, what's this thing over here?
Yeah.
Also, something really distracting that I noticed while playing through this game was, that little chime that for when you find stuff, it makes like a little chime sound. That's straight out of Uncharted.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's the chime whenever Nathan Drake finds treasure. So it's really disorientating to be like, ching, and I'm like my brain's like treasure.
And you just want to swing on a rope to go get it.
Yeah, but treasure.
Well, finally we've reached the Capitol building.
Nice.
Only problem is there's a dead firefly.
Oh.
And all the fireflies have been killed by the military.
What's that?
Well, what do we do next? Oh, shucks.
Oh, darn it.
Well, a couple things happen here. The first, unfortunately, Tess was bit.
Oh, darn it.
So, this is your obligatory, I got infected. No, you gotta leave me behind.
Yeah. Oh, no, you can't. I gotta. Yeah, that's every zombie movie has that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one, I don't know if it hit me as hard as any of the other ones, but
I think if we had more time with Tess to get to know her, maybe. But we've known her for at this point, maybe an hour.
yeah, and all the marketing is just Joel and Ellie.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like it'd be different if the box was like, join Joel and Tess as they go on their epic adventure to.
Yeah.
Yeah, we knew that she wasn't going to be a main player, so
Yep.
they kind of ruined that.
So she's turning and you're getting attacked by the military, so you guys got to book it. She says to take you to Tommy. Tommy is your brother from the beginning, and he worked with the Fireflies, so he knows where the lab is located, where you need to get Ellie.
Yes.
So you're able to escape. She obviously passes, but there you go. You've left the Capitol building.
And this is really where the game begins, I feel. I think this is, like up to this point, we've been doing this little adventure to get her to whatever. But I feel like once Tess dies, not die, but once we leave or whatever, she dies, obviously. But and once we really get the hang on the game, this is really where the story kicks off.
Yeah. Yeah, because this begins you and Ellie just kind of having to travel long distances talking to each other.
Yeah, this is like the journey of the West.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
All right, so we start out at the woods where you're making your way to Bill. Why do you need to go to Bill?
Bill!
Bill Nye the car guy.
Bill has a car, and he's Joel's friend, and he owes him a favor.
Yeah.
So
I guess we got to go find Bill.
Bill.
Bill is a very paranoid guy.
Oh my god, and why wouldn't he be?
Yeah. He set up traps for the infected, but also probably for anybody that could get near him. And the whole area is rigged. I got caught by a couple of them.
Yeah. Well, they call this area Bill's town, right? And that's saying something. Yeah. He's like, this is my town. I'm gonna defend it.
In my town now.
In my town. In Bill's town now.
Yeah. And so you got things like bombs, little ropes that if you touch them, they'll explode on you. You got to make your way through the roofs just to get to him. It's pretty great. A lot of little scenes. I think this is the first time you see the arcade machine.
Oh, yeah.
Can't remember the name of the thing, but it's probably in here.
Yeah, you see that thing a couple times, that name.
Yeah.
It's like the turning or something like that, right? It's like
the turning.
turning.
You got it.
Yeah, it's a turning.
Yeah. The turning. And you find him, and Bill and Ellie's dialogue together is the funniest in the game for me.
You,
I love it.
can you give us a sample?
I don't know if I remember.
It can be like made up, just like an example of like what it would sound like.
Just like, get out of the way, fat ass. Or you could use a couple less hamburgers. I don't know. Just she is very mean to him, and he's kind of a dick to her.
Yeah.
And he's a very private man. We learn later that he's like a homosexual, and maybe he wanted to keep that private.
Yeah.
Whatever, different time, I guess.
And like that's
I guess
that's something too that you could skip over as well.
Yeah, you can totally miss it.
Yeah, it's just like little pieces of the environment and notes and stuff like that.
He does mention that he has a friend that has car parts. No. Okay, hold on. There's car parts at the school or something like that. Like, right?
Yeah,
like,
the school section.
yeah. And they need to gear up. They head out. They head through a graveyard, which is full of clickers. Great little stealth scene right there. And you get to the high school, but there's a military truck there that is gone, which is where he intended to get the battery for the car. So that's no good. But while you're there, you're attacked by a bunch of infected and make your way to the gym.
Where you meet a new friend.
Yeah. What's called a bloater?
Yeah, that's me after I ate Taco Bell.
Oh, God. I'll have to keep a distance.
Oh!
This thing looks like... I'm trying to think of like what it looks like. Because it looks like something to me.
It reminds me of the X-Men character, the Blob, or whatever his name is, the Blob. You ever see it?
Really?
Yeah, did you see Blob? It's like, yeah. Or just me after I eat Taco Bell, you know?
Do you ever see Dogma?
Yes. Oh, no, you're not bringing up the poo monster thing, are you?
Yeah, right. The Golgothan.
God. I did not think you were going to bring up Dogma during this conversation.
I think that's the only time Dogma's ever been brought up in a conversation. But yeah, it reminds me of the Golgothan from Dogma. I think it reminds me of something else, but I can't think of it right now. But yeah, it's this big, gross mess, and it's like the highest level of infected, right?
Oh, yeah.
Basically, like kind of interesting thing, and that's what everyone's supposed to look like eventually.
Eventually.
And they have ranged attacks. They can throw disease at you.
This thing,
just like the Golgotha.
This thing killed me a shit ton of times. First time I had to fight it.
Same. Yep.
They do give you a shotgun at this point, right? I believe.
Yeah, but I found the shotgun to not work well against it because you got to kind of get closer.
Yeah, it's very short range,
and it could easily catch you and smack you around. I died a lot too. I think I eventually worked on it by using the rifle, and then eventually the pistol because I ran out of bullets.
But eventually they do manage to kill it. So that's nice. We know it's killable.
Yeah. And you escape through going up the bleachers and out the window.
Out those tiny ass windows.
Yes.
Why does every high school have those?
Eventually you do escape and go to like right there. And you go to Bill's friend's house, who has killed himself, but he has a working car.
Oh, this is kind of like where you can pick up more of that story we were talking about, and we find out his name was Frank.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he killed himself because he got bitten, and he didn't want to hurt anybody.
Very sad.
Yeah, it really because when you meet Bill, like Bill's kind of a prick. You know, Bill's not really like the nicest dude. But of course, Joel at this point is also kind of a prick. But
the environment begets it.
Yeah. But after meeting, after seeing this part and kind of like getting, like to know what happened to Frank, and kind of like picking up on the fact that Frank was his friend or his lover or whatever, it's kind of like oh man, like no wonder Bill's kind of a prick.
a memorable scene in this chapter. I'm reading a little bit about it here, and a memorable scene was when you step on a trap and you're upside down.
Oh yes. Was that this chapter?
Yeah,
Okay.
that was right before you meet Bill.
For some reason, I thought it
'Cause
was
it's one
one of
of
the
his
other
traps.
chapters. I do remember that very well because you're hanging upside down, and it kind of like shifts the perspective.
Yeah, that's interesting. On easy, it was kind of a joke because
Yeah.
it's kind of hard to fail. But I remember on medium, this taking me several tries to complete. I'm surprised we don't see more of that in games, switching the perspective like that.
Yeah, shifting upside down. It really helps to build the tension because you know, I mean, once again, like with Joel, you know, it's like not like another game where it's like, oh, I'll just use my handy dandy knife in my pocket to cut my rope down. You know, it's like, it's like, you know, like this world is beaten, Joel's beaten, and you know, he's basically just hanging there to be eaten, beaten, about to be eaten.
Yeah.
So
So you're now driving to Pittsburgh once you get the car going.
Who wants to go to Pittsburgh?
You know, I've never been to the East Coast.
Pittsburgh.
Is that not a good spot?
Pittsburgh is like, it's like, I mean, you know what? I would say Cleveland's worse, but Pittsburgh.
I've been to Ohio,
Oh,
but
no.
I've not been to.
Pittsburgh. Man, you've been close to my territory, man.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I've been to Kentucky.
Have you? Nice.
Yeah. I went to, what's it called? What's the capital of Kentucky again?
Frankfurt?
Oh, no,
Well,
not that.
Okay. Because that's where I live.
What's like
Because that's where
Northern
I
Kentucky,
live.
big
I
city,
live in
Nor-
the capital. Well, no, not in the capital, but I live in, you know.
Wherever you live is the capital.
You talking about Louisville?
Yeah.
That's like,
I've been there.
that's like close to me. That's a pretty big city for us.
Yeah. I stopped there. Only for a day, though.
Well, I hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Take it or leave it.
So yeah, you're heading to Pittsburgh. You're looking for your brother.
This has
Tommy.
you're in that, yeah, you're in like the truck or whatever, right? Or whatever it is.
Yeah.
This has one of my favorite moments with Ellie where she's in the back.
Reading the
Oh my
magazine.
God. Yeah, she has like the nude magazine that she got from Bill's. She like swiped it from
Yeah.
Bill. Well, it's also where you learn that she has some sticky fingers, but yeah, she swiped a nudie magazine from Bill.
She has literally sticky fingers.
It's gay pornography.
She goes, "How does he walk with this thing?"
I know. I love it too because she reacts how like an actual kid would react. Not like, oh my god. She's just like, oh my, whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's such a funny moment between those two, and you kind of see Joel like taking on his like dad persona, like, you know, like, oh no, you shouldn't be seeing that, you know.
Yeah. When you get out of the car because you're attacked by hunters, you have to kind of fight them off, and you finally go to a hotel where. Is this where you learn that she can't swim?
Yes, I do believe so because part of the city's flooded, right?
Yeah.
So yes, I do believe this is where you find out. Very nice hotel. I would give it a 5-star rating.
Even as is?
Yeah, yeah, it's great. I mean, during the apocalypse, it can't be too big.
In here it talks about being in the basement. Yeah, I remember going into the basement. But it's funny. Apparently there's supposed to be bloaters here. But I played it. I mean, that might have been the case when I was on normal, but when I played on easy,
Oh yeah,
I did not face
they
any
took him
bloaters.
out for easy.
Yeah, so I guess I got the easy walk.
I remember this part where you go turn on the generator and stuff being a
Yeah.
bitch for me playing on normal.
It's really scary to do because you're kind of by yourself and it's all dark.
Yeah.
You just know shit's gonna pop out of it from anywhere.
So
yeah. At this point, you end up in the financial district once you get through that, and there's a Humvee, like a total tanked out car, and it's looking for people, and they're like gunning people down and looting their bodies.
Yes.
And this would be your enemy for the rest of basically the season. We're in summer, by the way.
Summer loving.
Summertime.
Having a blast.
Oh, we were going different songs.
What was your song?
My song was Sublime.
Okay, do you want to sing it?
Summertime, living's easy. I don't know what he says after that. But that's a good song. You were singing Grease.
Yeah, singing Grease. Cause summer loving. Could you just imagine like Ellie and Joel on top of like a car? Summer loving.
Yeah.
Having a blast.
Having a blast. I love Grease. I don't care who knows.
I don't care who knows. It's my vice, man.
Yeah.
Grease is awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, you're escaping the city. You sneak around the tank, and eventually jump into an apartment building. But you're attacked by Henry, and you're attacked by Henry. He also has a little brother named Sam. Quickly, you realize you don't need to kill him. You guys should be friends.
Yeah, you're both trying to survive.
Yeah. And now you're a foursome.
Please don't say it like that.
Now you're having a foursome.
Stop.
Now you're all fucking up. So yeah, you make your way through the world with the four of you now, and you guys go through a lot of different places, some lobbies at night. I remember that being a lot harder on medium. Do you remember the floodlight?
Yes, I do remember that.
That was very easy on easy. That was very hard on medium.
Very easy and easy.
Yeah. And it turns out you both are looking for the fireflies. I don't really know why.
Yeah, I don't know. Did they ever go into detail about why they were looking for the fireflies?
I don't think so.
I don't really think that like mattered all too much for the story for this. I think Sam and Henry are supposed to be like a reflection. You know, kind of like, you know, Joel and Ellie just started their adventure, and you can tell Sam and Henry have been on this for a while.
Right.
So,
a really cool moment is Sam does pick up a toy while they're going through the toy shop to play with the little robot.
Yeah, he like puts it down, right, and then if you pay attention, Ellie takes it.
Oh, so you can see her take it?
No, you do not see her take it, but you can you kind of get it, like it's back and stuff, and then you're like, come on, let's go, and then if you look back, she's back there and the toy's gone.
Oh.
So it's insinuated that she took it.
Oh, very cool. I didn't know that.
Ellie has some sticky fingers.
Yes.
So.
And you guys do get separated. He kind of abandons you, but he's saying, you know, we did what we had to do, and you kind of agree with them in a way.
Survival.
I mean, and so you're running away. You managed to kind of break out, but you are running away from the Humvee. And when you're running away, you have to run down this path, and you're getting shot at. And my girlfriend who's watching goes, "This is just like Crash Bandicoot."
It's like Crash Bandicoot, only, you know, there's a boulder and not a murderous Humvee, and there's a nice island, not like the apocalypse, but yeah, it's just like it.
And she doesn't know Naughty Dog or anything. Like, well, I'm sure she gets
that's
it, but
very funny that she made the connection, though.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah, it's impressive. So from here on, you end up in the sewers.
I remember.
Where you can learn a lot about the world.
Yeah, I remember this part very well. This part's very unique to the game.
Yeah, this part you get to see like people that hid away during this time, and it's really painful to see like the little children.
Oh my God, yeah.
Kind of get mixed up here. That was kind of hard for me. I'm kind of like Roger Ebert. He has an aversion to little children being portrayed in violent ways.
It's like and most games don't use children like that very much.
Yeah.
You know, if you play like a war game or anything like that, or even just like something like Grand Theft Auto, they never show kids. You know.
Yeah, And I'm not saying it's wrong. It definitely it hits you.
Yeah.
But it hits you in a way that's different than most things you experience. It's just like, ugh. You see little play sets and the alphabet. I think they were even trying to teach them down there.
Yeah, they were.
Like, keep education going.
And it was like, oh man, it really like it hits home to like see, because like it'd be different if like we were down there and they're like there's a colony of people down here and stuff, but like we're seeing the remains.
Yeah, we don't get to hear that there's a
Yeah.
colony. We just kind of get to see
It's like
it.
you're walking through like a graveyard basically, and you're like, oh my god.
Did you see the one where it's a guy who's like shot himself in the head and he left like a
Yes.
note? He says like, I'm sorry.
Yes.
And there's just like a big tarp with bodies under
Yes.
it. Oh, oh my goodness.
This is the saddest episode of the Button Mappers, everybody.
Yeah. We were kind of talking about that before we
Yeah,
started.
the saddest episode of the Button Mappers. Here it is.
Oh. We apologize, everybody.
It's like every other episode. We're like, oh yeah, this is the level where Mario, goes in the water or something. Oh, water joke. And this one is like, this is the level where we see a man that shot himself.
Because he had to kill a bunch of kids.
Yeah. God.
Oh. Although we did do The Witcher just recently, so that's not quite, but it's getting there.
It's getting there.
It's not quite as depressing as this, but it's something. And then we finally close out the summer.
Summer loving. Having a blast. Yeah. This is the end of the summer.
And this is the conclusion of our friendship.
What happens to Sam Sam and almost Tommy Henry?
Yeah. So after leaving the sewers, you guys do make it. You have to. It takes a little bit of work because the area is kind of controlled by that group
Sniper rifles,
that had the Humvee. And you liberate the house where they're shooting you, but on the way down, the Humvee comes out and starts attacking Sam, Henry, and Ellie. And obviously, this is kind of like, I guess it would be a boss fight. You would say.
I guess if this game has boss fights, I guess this counts.
If you want this game to have boss fights, this would be it. And you have to take out the Humvee, and you guys all group back together. And in a pretty sad cutscene. Well, for one, you get to see Ellie give that toy to Sam.
Yeah, which is, once again, if you paid attention earlier, it was like, oh, cool. Yeah, so she did actually take it. Yeah.
Yeah. And her relationship with Sam, we should talk about, is that you kind of get to see her be a kid with another kid.
Yes, there's not a lot of that in this world, Like, so getting to see her like actually have those moments, where she's getting to be a kid, getting to have fun for. As much fun as you can have.
Yeah, because usually she kind of gets ripped away, and it's just like, quit joking around. But they kind of, it's cool that they let them talk about stuff.
Quit fucking around.
Like dogs. Quit screwing around. But unfortunately, on that attack, Mr. Sam got bit. Mm-hmm. And the next morning he has turned. And his brother ends up shooting him and then blames Joel initially, but decides to kill himself.
Yeah, this is hard to watch too.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, this is kind of like a reflection of Joel and Ellie in a sense. I know that they're brothers or whatever, but like kind of like in that situation, he had to take on like a fatherly, like role, Yeah. And I think this hits home for Joel because like he sees like how how torn that is, like how much that hurts, and like he kind of already felt that with Sarah, I think, so yeah. It's the happiest part of the game.
And that concludes summer, which is definitely the longest part of the game.
It is. You're very right. I don't know if there's anything else you want to mention here, but those sniper guys were a pain in the ass.
On medium.
On medium, yes, on medium. You played on easy.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember this being a very hard part, but when I played it just recently, it was like, boom, 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 boom. Take you out. So, play it on medium. All right, you ready to go to autumn?
We're going to,
or fall?
We're going to, where are we going? Wyoming?
Yes.
To Tommy's Dam.
We found Tommy.
His dam.
He's in a dam.
His dam.
As Alex
Damn.
said.
This part of the game is visually striking as well, because you're out
Yeah.
of the city and it just you're back in the nature,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know, it just looks really pretty.
I think this is the first time we see like a city or like a group of people
Yeah, like survivors.
that isn't the quarantine.
Yeah, like survivors and stuff.
And Tommy has gotten married to Maria, we're just introduced to, so
Maria.
we didn't know her before. And they're kind of holing up here with all their people, and they're getting their electronics working. They got horses, and they've kind of got it all figured out here.
Like the generators, like the water. What do you call that?
Hydroelectric?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So they've got it all figured out. No reason to do anything else. No reason to do anything but survive. And then Joel comes around.
Fucking Joel.
Fucking Joel. And he says, Tommy, you need to take Ellie to the Fireflies. And begrudgingly, but eventually, Tommy says, yeah, I'll do it. But Ellie is none too thrilled about it. And she takes off. And you have to chase her, or find her on your horse.
Yeah.
And you have to go through the countryside. It's beautiful.
This is a great part of the game. And I love...
You're not really given this freedom earlier in the game.
Oh, yeah. And also, I love the fact that he has a horse. I don't know why. I just...
You don't picture it?
Yeah. You don't look at this game and be like, that man's going to ride a horse later.
You do end up finding her in a house. And, of course, you're attacked while you're there. Can't have a scene in this game unless you're getting attacked in it.
Oh, man. This is one of the... this is one of the most heartbreaking parts of the game. For me.
Yeah. Ellie is sad because she's grown attached to Joel.
Yeah.
And she doesn't want Joel to just give her up like everybody else has.
So, like, we haven't talked too much about that, but, like, during the events leading up to this, like, it kind of, like you can tell by their dialogue, which I did mention towards the beginning, the dialogue, that, like, Joel goes from, like, being, like, a really strict, like, come on, let's just do this, this is my job, to... He kind of did open up to her quite a bit during the story. We kind of played around with that with, like, the porno mag and him kind of, doing, like, the fatherly thing and being like, no, you shouldn't sing that. So,
Yeah.
in a sense, Joel did, has sort of, like, also grown attached to Ellie during this part of the game.
Yep.
But, yeah, she's upset that she has to go with Tommy and not Ellie, not Joel, and Joel brings up his daughter Sarah and tells Ellie that she is not his daughter.
Yeah.
So that kind of breaks that up. It's a very like heartbreaking moment, because like, to see like them, because you're like, oh, of course he's gonna be like, no, I'll do it, and because they've grown so close, but Joel's like, no, you're not my daughter, I'm not,
Yeah.
this is just a job.
But Joel does have a change of heart and decides he will take her to the University of Eastern Colorado, where Tommy has said that the Fireflies are holed up in. And they get a horse!
Yay!
Man.
So this is the transition over to fall, right?
It's already
okay.
fall.
Well, yes, but I don't know. I think this like transitioning over to the campus is where I really start to notice it. When I was playing.
Oh yeah, I could see
yeah,
that.
because This is like, in terms of like the aesthetic of, God damn it, of the areas. No, I said it. The university is like probably my favorite of the areas.
It looks
It looks
beautiful,
so cool, man.
and red, and the tree, the fall leaves and
Yeah.
everything, beautiful. You finally make your way to the college, and it's very, very empty. There's some monkeys. There's monkeys running around, which is kind of cool.
Awesome. How did they get there? Colorado.
Well, they got there because the scientists were doing experiments on them, and some of them are infected. So it's good that you don't get too
It's
close.
like Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, where they have to go save the monkeys.
I haven't seen that movie in over a decade.
Well, you brought up Dogma earlier. I wanted to tie it back in.
This is the Kevin Smith show.
You know, he shares a birthday with me. We had the exact
Really?
same birthday, August 2nd.
Oh man. So yeah, you kind of wander around there. You do end up going through some dorm rooms, which have tons of infected in them, and you kind of read what they were going through at the time, like holding themselves up and like people getting high. Like you can't get high
Because I
right
got
now.
high.
It's like,
Because I got
yeah. That's the story of how this game happened. Everybody's
Put a little ass like Afro
getting too
Man.
high. Yeah. So you eventually make your way to the science building, again completely abandoned, but you do find out that they've been testing on the monkeys, haven't really found anything yet, and the rest of the fireflies that haven't died yet have gone to Salt Lake City, Utah.
Keep moving.
Yeah. Can't these guys just stay put? People are trying to find them.
So this was a bus. Basically, we're here for nothing.
Yeah.
But something very important does happen. They get attacked by some looters.
Right.
And they what happens here exactly? Joel like falls out of a window, right?
Yeah. He gets kind of attacked in a way that they both fly off of where they are, and he impales himself through like I think it was just a loose rod that was sticking
like
out.
a rusty looking rod.
Some kind of deconstruction.
Just he gets impaled.
And he has Ellie help him pull himself up, which
Not fun.
does not look comfortable. And she escorts him out as he's slowly fading in and out of consciousness and having to shoot stuff. And you can see Ellie can really hold her own.
Yeah.
I think to their credit, to her advantage, they didn't really have guns. These looters. These specific ones. Some a little bit earlier did, but these specific ones had like a bunch of knives or whatever and weapons. But she actually had guns, so she was gunning them down. It was pretty cool.
And it was cool to see her like protecting Joel on the way out. You know.
Yeah.
Like you could tell she's worried. You know.
Yeah. And finally, you pass out, and that is the end of fall. So as you can see, it gets much quicker with the seasons.
Yeah, fall's pretty short, but that passing out and stuff has a really big impact, I think, on this story. And from there, we move on to winter. Winter is where the story starts to shift. Because
I love how it starts.
how's it start?
You are hunting a deer.
Who's you?
You are Ellie.
God, we switched characters.
Yeah, you are Ellie. She has different weapons. Well, different weapon. You had a bow with Joel, and you need to get food for reasons you could assume. And she starts with killing a rabbit. That's done as a cutscene. But you are hunting a deer, and it's kind of calm and serene, and just like a nice change of pace from the franticness, which obviously it constantly shifts between. And you just kind of hunt it and you follow it around, and eventually it does die. But when you find it, a man helps you. And you guys, she's very distrusting of people. But he says that we can trade the meat for medicine because she needs antibiotics for Joel.
She's got Joel held up, hidden, where he can heal up.
Right. And they work together. He seems friendly at first. Obviously, by the way I just described it, you know what's coming. He seemed friendly at first, but the people come, and it becomes clear. He kind of implies, or he says, really, that a bunch of his men were killed a few weeks ago by a crazy man who was traveling with a little girl.
Oof.
And it turns out he knows who you are. And they knock her out and take her to their little base in a cabin resort. And oh my goodness, this is gross. Although it seems weird, he does constantly try to help her.
Yeah, David's an interesting character because he's not an evil character per se, especially towards the beginning, And even from like looking at the story so far, we'll get to the rest of it in a minute, but just looking from like what's happening so far with him, like he's like, "Oh, you killed a bunch of my people. You and your partner killed a bunch of my people. That's not okay." So even from that, like, is that necessarily evil? Like we're already so far we're only framing him as bad because we're looking at it from Ellie's side. So.
Yeah. But I mean, he and his group, they're just trying to survive. And we should get to why we're saying that is that they have taken to eating people. And she's kind of next on the chopping block, but they have a bunch of
limbs. That's where the story turns. That's where David becomes a little more evil.
Yeah. Well, again, it's evil,
it's also
but
survival.
Also, it's not like. Yeah. What do you do? Like, there's no
food.
I mean, everything's dead. It's where they're living is everything's dead, and so it's like the food is that guy that just died. Like, he's just a waste of meat if he goes away. Now, killing people and hunting them and killing them. Now you could start saying, well, that's pretty evil, but who knows at that point? It's hard to say. Oh, and Joel's the last person who should be talking about being evil, which we'll get to later. Yes. But anyway, Ellie wakes up in the cabin resort. She does end up escaping using her wits. She reveals that she is bit. And then they realize they can't eat her because she's sick. And they obviously, I guess, I don't know if this is obvious or not, but I certainly would be worried. If they eat her, they might turn themselves. And then it's kind of funny because at a certain point while she's in the prison, she does bite him and tells him, "So you're sick too."
Very
I love
smart.
that. Yeah, she is very smart, and it's smart writing, really. And in the commotion, she is able to run away and kind of hide. At this point, Joel wakes back up, and you play as him, and you're kind of making your way downtown,
walking fast.
And this is a lot of just fighting people, not infected. I like it. I like fighting, and I love the setting. I am very partial to snowy settings.
Why? Because you don't get much snow?
Yeah, I'm in Arizona, so it's like snow and rain, anything like that. I'm all into it. I just love the idea of it. I don't know if I'd love living in it, but
dude,
I certainly love the idea of it.
It's like 75% of my life is rain.
Well, I lived in Portland, Oregon for 4 months. I liked it while I was there. Maybe eventually it like dampens your soul. But eventually you go back to Ellie and you do have a boss fight, another one, quote unquote, there with David. You only have your knife because you got all your stuff stolen. And a lot of weird implications here. I guess it's implied he wanted to rape you.
Yeah, that's something that like they definitely imply, but I'm not 100% about that. And I feel like it could have been left out.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's already a cannibal.
Yeah,
Like,
I think they just kind of did it to like maybe like, oh, he's a bad guy, you know, like.
Yeah, I think you're right, because they're like, we didn't really make him evil enough. We kind of justified everything up to a point.
So, oh, he was a raper. You know, that's unjustified. You know, like even like you were justifying like the eating of people. You know, like you know, like what do you have? You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's unjustified. So I feel like that they put that in there and it didn't fit the character well because it doesn't feel like it came out of anywhere. You know, like why?
Yeah, I didn't really get that. But you do end up killing him, and then Joel finds her, and they lead her away.
That encounter with David though, in like the restaurant area that you're in, when you fight him, is like one of the most tense parts of a game I've played.
No doubt. Where the breaking of the glass on the ground.
Because you have to sneak up on him, and it's very hard. Like. It's hard. There's a lot of tension, and that's like one of those parts of the games that like I look back on it fondly. But oh my god, I don't want to do it again. So,
yeah, it's super heart pounding, and I kind of wish we had more time with Ellie, like in a stealth way, because she was really good. Like her stealth thing with that knife and everything is really cool. But that's pretty much it.
Don't you worry, Spitzer. They're making us Last of Us 2.
Oh, sweet.
So
heard it's just chock full of feminism.
Chock full of Ellie. Please don't tell me anything. I have not read that leaked stuff that came out. So.
Oh, I didn't read it either. Why would you?
Why would you spoil that for yourself? Like I want to play the game.
Yeah. All right. This leads to the end of the game. We're now in spring.
New season.
Yeah. And everybody seems healed up. Joel's cool. He's fine. He's having witty banter with Ellie. They're having a good time, sounds like. They've made it to Salt Lake City. They're on the highway. Cruising. And they make it through the highway, some buildings. And that's the memorable giraffe
man,
scene.
can I tell you a story about this? I don't know if you ever saw my video on it that I did way back when. I was playing this part, and I have some interesting footage. Maybe I can send it to you, and you can spice it in here while I'm talking.
Yeah.
So I was playing this part, and you know the part where like right for that where you have to like get the ladder to like climb up, in the station.
Yeah.
So you get the ladder with Ellie, and I was bringing it over with Joel and stuff, and then like I was putting the ladder down or something whenever she like drops it, and something happened, and the game glitched, and Joel just started levitating upwards. He just started flying upwards. I'm not entirely sure what happened there, but I ended up. It's so funny because when it happens, he goes, "Ellie, Ellie," and then like because she's running away towards the giraffes.
Oh, like he's dying?
No, like she's running towards the giraffe, so he's just calling her to get back here. Oh. But he's flying upwards in my footage, so he's like, "Ellie, Ellie," and he's like, it just looks like he's just like I can't stop. Yeah,
that's awesome.
It was something else. I had another weird glitch. It wasn't that crazy. It was the part. There's a part in the winter where you could find this rock where like if you climb up on it, you're not supposed to be able to, and like you can kind of mess with like the contrast and stuff like that. It's kind of neat. But that ladder segment, I had to like restart the chapter from there because I could not get out of the ceiling. I was just stuck up there. It was amazing and awesome. I did put a video up on TurboZone when it happened, so you can watch that if you really want, or Spencer could put the footage in here too. You can see it happening, but Yeah, it happened, and I was like, "Oh my god! I didn't expect a glitch like that in this game."
That's awesome. I had a weird glitch. It was during summer. It's just that they blocked off an exit and they never unblocked it.
Oh, okay.
So nothing funny or anything. It was just lame.
It was a lame.
Anyway, yeah, you do have the famous giraffe scene, and there are like little giraffe toys that are sprinkled throughout the game. So it's kind of hinted at that she's always kind of seen giraffes, but she has never actually seen a real giraffe before. And she loves it, and you get to pet it and look at it, and turns out that they're in a big herd and they're walking away from the zoo. Great little scene. You finally get to see her be a happy
Yeah,
kid.
it's a nice bonding moment between those two, also between Joel and Ellie.
Which leads to you going through an underground tunnel, which has a scene with 2 bloaters. At least I played on easy, and there were 2. Maybe there were more. And I just lit them all on fire. It was the greatest thing ever. I just threw 2 Molotov cocktails, and they all like ran into each other. And then I think I had to like shoot one like twice with a rifle. That was it. It was the easiest part of the game that should have been really difficult, but I loved it. It was a great like. We don't really talk too much about combat here, but they offer like a lot of different ways to tackle every combat scenario.
We haven't really talked too much about that, but there's like a lot of you have like your guns, you have craftable items, you have other items you can pick up and use. So the combat is really like sort of said like during the beginning, you kind of play it in one of 2 ways, either just like all out or you can go stealth. There's also that strange listening mechanic. Did you use that at all? I did.
Yes. I don't know how you did it without it. It's super great.
I don't know. I was just like, I don't want to be able to see things through the walls. I want to be able to, I just want to. I don't know. I just didn't use it. It felt like it was cheating to me.
Oh, it definitely is
I was
cheating.
like, I don't want this.
Let's not kid ourselves. But it makes it super easy when you just hide behind walls and see where the people are, and then you can make moves based on that. Yeah. My friend JD, when he plays it, he's like so much better at video games than me. It's mind-boggling. But like you see bottles and bricks lying around. He constantly will pick one up, and there'll be an infected person or just any person. I think you can do it really to anybody. And you throw it at him, and it like stuns them for a second, and then he just charges them and takes them out.
And I find it to be really effective. That, or I use it to like distract them. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, he does it like clockwork. I'm more of like a shoot 5 times on somebody because I can't hit their head kind of guy. I suck. I'm really bad. But you eventually make it through the underground tunnel, and you finally make it to the hospital well, you don't actually make it to the hospital. You get knocked out by a Firefly soldier. So you made it to the Fireflies, but he does knock you out while you're trying to perform CPR on Ellie because she fell in the water. The rest is, well, I guess there isn't just a cutscene. There's kind of a lengthy fight. But you end up in the hospital, and Ellie is in a room on the top floor, and you discover that what's going to happen to Ellie is she's going to die.
Marlene's here. Remember her?
Yeah, Marlene's here.
How did she get here? Why didn't she
always in the
just
right
take
place at the
Ellie
right
with
time.
her? That's my question.
That's a good question. Oh, because she got shot at the beginning.
I was
earlier.
like, she's here.
Yeah. Kind of does beg that question. That's kind of a cop-out almost. But yeah, she's recovered.
Yeah.
For now. But she reveals that they're going to have to kill her. They have to basically remove a bunch of her brain because it's all infected with cordyceps, but they have to figure out why it hasn't turned her. And So they basically have to do surgery on her entire brain, which Joel, being the scientist he is like, that's gonna kill her.
That's gonna kill her. Treating their brain.
His knuckles keep scratching the ground. But Joel is not thrilled with this. He's really become a big fan of Ellie.
Yeah.
He loves having... Ellie really has taken the place of his daughter, so it's like saying
Believe
your
it or
daughter's
not,
gonna
that
get
thing he
killed.
said back in the dam in the fall, whatever, where he said that she's not his daughter or whatever. Believe it or not, he said that just to make it easier. You know?
Yeah. And you go on kind of a rampage
Oh my God.
to go
How
get
did you
her.
play this part? That's what I want to know.
I killed everybody.
Fucking ran. I would kill people when I had to, but like they throw so many people at you. I just fucking ran. I was like,
Yeah.
I got to the point where I was trying this part. I was trying to actually shoot everybody and like try to do combat, but like I was getting my ass handed to me during this part, and it got to the point where I was like, I'm just gonna run. I'm just gonna run to like through the hospital.
Yeah. Well, again, I think when I played this on medium, this one took me a while because they don't really give you a lot of ammo considering. But on easy, they also didn't give you a ton of ammo, but I was able to scrape by. Using a lot at the end, especially a lot of like stealth and just attacking people from behind, which I'm glad they still let you use that even in this end game scenario. It reminds me of, I played a game called Tomb Raider. It was the second one. I don't know if you ever played that, like the most recent
like the reboots.
Tomb Raider series. And in the most recent one, they allow you to play either stealthy or action based, but not at the end. At the end, they just throw a million enemies at you and you have to kill them. Like, and it's like it was a huge letdown because everything I did was stealth.
Yeah, this
based
is my
in
least
that
favorite
game.
part of this game too because of that.
Yeah.
So in my story,
but at least this game kind of let you.
In my story, Joel just fucking ran. He was like, "Hey!" He's like running to the top of the hospital.
Yeah.
Which I think is more realistic. You know?
It is. It makes a ton more sense. Trying to fight your way through it. Fuck that. You do find out you kill the 2 doctors or 3 pretty mercilessly. And you pick her up and run away with her. Which reminds you of the first scene.
From the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
Which is something you can kind of do. You could I say this game is very symmetrical. You could take it and you could fold it in 2. And it would be like the same on either side. I feel story wise, it kind of wraps back around.
Right. Yeah, it becomes like Joel loves his daughter. Joel gets crushed. Obviously, Joel slowly builds a relationship with Ellie. Joel gets crushed, but not because she died, because she could die. And then Joel loves Ellie. Yeah.
So moving on from should we move on from the hospital to the last segment?
Well, the last thing that happens there is Marlena tries to stop you. And it's revealed in the next scene while you're driving that you killed her too. So I guess, let's go to the next scene, which is, again, not really. I mean, there's a slight amount of gameplay, but it's just walking. A little walking and talking. And Ellie asks you an important question. She says, is it, because Joel tells her in the car ride, there's a bunch of people like you, Ellie, and you weren't going to save them, so I took you out of there. I said to get out, because she's unconscious the entire time. And she asked you an important question, says, are you telling the truth when you said that? And you just say yes.
Yeah.
So I guess as Joel, you have ruined, or you have continued the apocalypse.
Yeah,
where you could have
saved
stopped it.
Ellie. And he also makes the comment about how Ellie and Sarah would have been really good friends, which I think is kind of important. Like, you know, how much he sees her as his daughter now. So
Yeah.
what a
that's
game!
The Last of
It's
Us.
not really about zombies. It's about humanity in a way. It's about one man's humanity.
Yeah. I mean, question. Do you see Joel as the villain?
I see the choice in the ending as like being the obvious wrong choice, you know, but I think it's the human choice. I think it's like the choice that we would probably make if, like, you know, somebody we loved was in that spot. Like, oh, we're gonna take apart their brain, you know, but it's gonna save people, and you're like, no. You know, no, don't do it.
No, cut it out. That's my kid.
No, don't do it. So, like, do you think Joel's the villain? Okay.
I do. I think he's one of those like sympathetic villains. Like, I don't know if you saw the newest Joker movie, but obviously not as clear as that. Because I mean, he's still the bad guy, definitely. And Joel is our protagonist throughout the game, and you can really see why he's doing what he's doing. But to me, it's very clear he's made the wrong decision.
And the game's like knows that. That's kind of like what that ending bit kind of like makes you as the player in some sense feel guilty for, you know, for the actions for, you know, back at the hospital, because, like, you know, you lie to her about it, and you're like, oh man, you know, like, I don't know, like you thought like, oh, they live happily forever after, but you're like, oh man, did I make the right decision? Like,
and she seems to know.
I think she knows, and I'm guessing they'll probably pick that back up on the second one.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm curious what they do with that. Do you, since the second one is coming out, did you think that this game needs a sequel?
No,
I personally don't.
I thought the story was good on its own. I mean, I was excited to see, like, I would like to see where this world goes. Like, maybe, you know, I know the next the next game focuses on Ellie. She's a little older. That's kind of, you know, what they've shown during the promotional stuff so far. But like, I was like in the mindset that, like, I would like to see another story in this world.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't have to be about Joe or Ellie. But
yeah,
I get it though. You know, the game was really big. The game did a lot, and then people got attached to the characters. So I see why they're moving forward with, you know, the new game.
Yeah. I guess we'll see. I'm excited.
I am too, man. This game's awesome. The Last of Us was an experience. I kind of like mentioned how I was not excited for this game, and I also had a little bit of a vendetta against this game for a bit.
Just because of the zombie stuff?
No, that's kind of what turned me off towards the beginning. I was like, oh, zombies, whatever. But also, after I found out that this game was originally, before they made this game, that same team was tasked with making a fourth Jak and Daxter title. And they canceled it. There's actually like promotional, not promotional, but like concept art you could find. They like released a book with like a bunch of Naughty Dog history and stuff. And there's concept art you could see for a fourth Jak game. And I mean, I guess it's good that they canceled it, because they were like, oh, this isn't going the way we wanted. And then they just started working on The Last of Us. They made that instead. But the Jak and Daxter fan in me was like, you fuckers. You know? but then I actually sat down and gave the game a chance, and I was like, this game's good. You know, this game's really good.
Yeah. Oh man. Sorry for it being slightly a bummer. This is uncharacteristic of the button mappers, but yeah. I don't know, should we make like a Clue Land joke or something?
Yeah, but only if like the game opens with like the Clue Land characters like dying or something, and like one of the other Clue Land characters are like, "Oh my god." Yeah, oh my god. It's just like they spell out on the Clue Land board. They spell out like, I miss you or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't want to die.
Oh.
You're like, oh. Oh man. Oh my god.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
it was a bummer of an episode, I'll tell you that much. What do you feel
Yeah.
okay, how do you feel this game is going to be looked back on in the coming years? Do you think it's
To me, I think this game signals, and I kind of mentioned it earlier, but the start of mature storytelling. Like, it's not the first game with mature storytelling, but it's like, to me, the flagship game where it's like this could cross over and be something that like an Emmy nominated or Oscar nominated, I should say, movie could have, and has those kinds of elements
They
to
did-
it. So to me, that's
they did
the
a
beginning
great
of that.
job with just the story itself. I think that's the highlight. I think like even if like I had never played the gameplay, that's not the and we didn't really talk about the gameplay for a reason. Like it's not the focus of the game. That's not why you're playing the game at all. And I've seen other games try to have like emotional stories and fail miserably. One of the biggest examples back in the day was I was super into the Gears of War games whenever those games came out, which are dumb shit, by the way.
Oh, God.
But
Are you gonna compare?
let me talk. So there's a scene. It's bad. There's a scene in Gears of War 3 where one of the characters, Dom, like drives into like a bunch of bombs to like save the rest of the team, and it's supposed to be really heartfelt. But like whenever the next chapter opens and I'm like chainsawing some more baddies, I'm like, oh man, I felt nothing from that. It's just like
I thought you were gonna talk about the scene where that one guy's wife
that's in
dies.
2, right? Yeah. Where his wife, where they find his wife and she's all like malnourished and stuff. Still, I mean, I think that's like preceded by a section where you cut your way out of a giant worm or something. So yeah, it just doesn't work.
That's what you're saying.
Tone is everything. If this story started with like that scene with Sarah, and then it cut back, and Joel's like in like a Humvee, like mowing down a ton of zombies and stuff, and it wouldn't work.
Yeah.
The game's about humanity.
Something that Teddy always does, so I'm going to continue the trend here. Is there any parts of the map that you would change? Are there any parts?
It's hard because it's like you have to change the flow of the story, right?
Maybe not. Maybe. I mean, because really, it's just a bunch of like, go here. Oh, they're not here anymore.
Maybe
Go
like the
here.
actual
Maybe there's
locations
another
or something.
place.
I
Yeah. And basically, this is almost a
would've
wish list for 2.
I would have. I don't know. It's hard because, like I said, a lot of the locations do tie into the overall story. Maybe I would have. Let me think on that. Do you have one?
I would have liked more nature.
Yeah, I can see that. Because I was trying to think of something like that. Maybe if like they had something, because like you go from the quarantine area to the outskirts to Bill's town to Pittsburgh.
Yeah. I will say that we did a map out of The Witcher 3. And that game is totally open world. This game is the antithesis of that. This game is very... You have one path, follow it. There might be multiple ways to tackle it, but there's certainly one path. And I guess I would like a little bit more freedom in the world. And I think that's just a thing of next gen gaming. It kind of leads to that, but maybe just more of maybe the wilderness is a little more open. I don't know. That's a hard one because it's like that for a reason. Like,
I don't necessarily think that this game would benefit from the open world. Just because it is such a narrative heavy game, like it's like playing through a movie almost,
yeah.
So I don't think it would need that per se.
Yeah.
And like I'm okay with it like a more linear experience anyway.
Yeah, I think you're right. I don't know. I just remember the bits of nature that there are in this game. kind of it's kind of more just like walking through and enjoying the scenery, which maybe that's
Yeah.
the point. Yeah, I think you're right. I take it back. I think that's more the point.
Yeah. I just think maybe a little less Ruined City would have done this game some good.
Yeah, because when it's pretty, it's very pretty.
Well, yeah, and like you pointed out, the section where you're in the winter area stands out big time because it is such a different tone than like the first third of the game.
Yeah.
So,
All right, I think that's it, man.
The Last of Us. If you're not first, you're last, right?
Yeah.
That was the joke.
This game doesn't take last place in any awards, that's for sure.
Oh shit! What did I do? Hold on. What happened? What happened? Oh no. I need to I have where are you at in your time right now?
An hour and 35?
Okay, mine just cut off in an hour and 33. So I need to pick it back up from there.
It's okay. I recorded everything on OBS just in case.
Oh, did you? Okay, so you can just fill this in with that then.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I don't know why. It's like right after I was talking about like from this, that, it says like the last thing I said on my recording is to Pittsburgh. So a little behind the scenes action here, guys. Pittsburgh.
We'll cut it out.
To Pittsburgh.
So anyway, Pittsburgh, right?
To Pittsburgh. Well, thanks for being depressed with us.
Yeah. Hopefully you had tissues for this. We should have probably made a warning about that at first.
I'm gonna eat a gallon of ice cream in the dark and in the shower.
And when I get out of the shower.
No, just like sitting in the fetal position with the shower on in the dark, eating a pint of ice cream, crying.
Sounds like life.
Yeah. Well, that's what this game does to you, man. Would you recommend playing this game on the PS4?
Yeah.
I think this game does benefit for the PS4.
Play the bonus content that you'll get with it.
Yeah, you also get a bonus chapter, Left Behind or whatever it's called, right?
Yeah.
We didn't really explore that here, but hey, you can explore that for yourself.
It'll probably make a lot of sense when you see the Last of Us 2.
More like The Last of Us poo. If that game's bad, I'm going to be so upset.
How can it be though?
Yeah, that's the thing I keep telling myself, but also like it's following up this.
Yeah, that's
so like part of me is like, how can it be this good?
Yeah. Well, when you know a game, the first game obviously is a labor of love. Like they absolutely adored making it and wanted to, and there's just an inkling. I don't know how much, but it's there where we made a successful game, so we need to make a second one. It's like it's not the whole heart.
And that's the thing too, is that like this game, while they were making this game, they were also making Uncharted 3, and Uncharted 3 is the worst one. You know, because like I think they were like, oh my god, look at all the cool stuff they're doing over here at this game, and then they're like, oh yeah, we gotta finish Uncharted 3. Okay, yeah, let's just put it together.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean I have no doubt that it's going to be a good game, but I have a feeling that I'm not going to be as immersed or impressed as I am with the first one. But we'll see. I could be wrong. I could play it and it's like the best fucking game I ever played in my life. You know.
Hopefully
it's better than Clue Land.
Yeah.
Well. We usually do ending jokes, but I don't know if this one's appropriate for ending jokes.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess Joel's not really a fun guy.
Oh. Hey, it's me, Reggie. Here at Nintendo, we want to make you depressed. That's why today we're bringing you The Last of Us. Play and cry and feel bad about every decision and everything you do.
Oh my god. You know what's scary?
What's that?
Reggie will probably say something like that. He doesn't work for Nintendo anymore. He works for GameStop.
Yeah, he works at GameStop now.
So now he can say like, "Here comes The Last of Us 2."
Wouldn't it be amazing if he like he was on like a GameStop ad? He was like, "Here at GameStop, we here at GameStop, we promise you to nickel and dime you for all of your trade-ins."
Here at GameStop, we're about the games. More importantly, selling them, and more importantly, buying them for very, very little.
More importantly, getting your pre-orders. That's why we push our employees to constantly berate you with pre-orders, offers, and questions. What's that? You're trying to buy a game in peace? No, we're going to ask you if you want to pre-order anything that was at E3. Assassin's Creed 98? Come on.
I remember buying Xenoblade Chronicles there on the 3DS, the new 3DS.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Did you pre-order it?" And I said, "No." They said, "Oh, well, we only really give these to people that pre-ordered it." And I said, "Okay, so you're not going to sell me that copy?" They said, "Okay, we'll give it to you."
Oh my god, that's so dumb.
It's like, what conversation are we having right now?
I had like the same experience kind of whenever Monster Hunter World came out.
Yeah.
I went to the pre-order launch or whatever it is, like like the midnight launch or whatever it's called. And I didn't pre-order it. I just went in to buy a copy.
Yeah.
And I walked up and they were like, "Did you pre-order it?" And I was like, "No." And they were like, and I was like, "Can I get a copy of Monster World? Monster Hunter Worlds?" I was like, how are you going to deny me a sale?"
Yeah. Like, do you know how business works? Like,
yeah,
I give you money and you give me a product.
They still sold it to me, but they were like, and I think they even got annoyed with me because I was trading in some like DS games or something at like the same day. I was, they were like, we don't really do that right now, and I was like, "So you're not going to take my trade in?" Like,
yeah.
Like. There's nothing here saying that I can't do any of this. Like your store's open.
GameStop is such a weird place. It's the only place that it doesn't work like the normal world where like I have money in my hand and I want to give it to you for this game.
Yeah.
And it's like every other place like, "Okay, thank you." And there it's like, "Hold on." I've got some questions first.
Could you imagine if like I was at like the grocery store and I'm like, "Okay, I want to buy these bananas." And then the person at the counter is like, "Did you pre-order those bananas?"
Yeah.
Did you get the banana pre-order bonus?
Yeah. You can either have no bananas or a banana with also 5 stickers attached to it. All with different colors.
Yeah. Now, did you want to sign up for a banana club where we can actually give you a free magazine that you won't read?
Oh, man. Dude, what happened to that magazine?
Yeah, I used to read Game Informer, man.
Me too.
Back in the day. And then I just stopped caring.
Yeah, at a certain point, it's like they give these out for free at a video game store. Like, isn't there something wrong with that?
Yeah. Then there's like reviews in the magazine. Like, this game is not very good, but this one's the game of the month. And, it's the obvious shit.
Yeah.
Borderlands 3, game of the month. It's like
I think I remember at one point Madden being game of the month.
What the fuck?
I was reading this. Like, man, Madden must be really good this year.
You know what else I hate about GameStop? How did this turn into us ranting about GameStop?
This takes the place of the jokes.
Whenever you're in GameStop, for one, my local GameStop, the people there have quickly learned to leave me the fuck alone while I'm shopping because I don't want to be like annoyed. They're like, "Oh hey, there's like." The most they'll do is that like the guys will like recognize me and they'll be like, "Hey, how was whatever you bought last week? How was Yakuza whatever or this game?" And I'll talk to him about that about that for a second. That's fine, but like they quickly learned I don't want to pre-order anything. I don't want them to try to sell me stuff. I'm I'm going to end up buying something while I'm there anyway. So just leave me alone. Like
yeah.
But while you're in the store shopping, and then they have those like TV screens on, and it's like playing like the loops of like the little like adverts, and it's always like coming this fall. Dig your way through Mr. Driller. It's a wonderful game, and this and that. And it has like 2 people talking. Yeah, I understand. I agree, Susie. Mr. Driller is the best game. It's whatever, and it plays on loop. And I'm just like, oh my god, if I worked here, I'd want to shoot myself.
Oh my god, yeah.
Just have to hear that shit all day.
I mean, basically, those are like the GameSpot people, right? Or the IGN people.
Yeah,
And they
whatever,
are like,
whatever network it is.
like, talk about a company that does not know its audience whatsoever. That they modeled everything after the Today Show, and they sit around a table and like drink coffee and talk about these video games. It's like, yeah, Susie, this was a really good game, and I can't wait to play the sequel coming out in May on the 31st. It's like, do
Pre-order
they
it
know
now.
who we are at all?
Do you want to be? It's like the game, like the video, like this fucking segment starts. It's like, did you ever want to be a ninja? Well, guess what?
Yeah.
Hey, you could pre-order Ninja Clash 5. It's the most ninja game out there, and it's just like, wow, Susie. Yeah, I know, I agree. It's this ninja game. I remember being a kid and playing ninja games and wanting to be a ninja myself. This game lets you be a ninja. It's just like, I'm already in a store.
Yeah.
I'm surrounded by people trying to sell me stuff, and then I'm listening to a TV screen in the corner of the store, also trying to sell me something.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, leave me the fuck alone, guys.
Yeah. Completely
Like,
ruins what video game stores should be.
No, it got to the point where I buy my Switch games at Walmart.
Dude, they're like $10 less.
Yeah, they're $10 less, and all I have to do is go over to some grumpy old lady and be like, "Hey, can you unlock this case for me?"
Yeah.
And she's always like, "Which one do you want?" And I'm like, Yoshi game over there." She's like, "Which one?" I was like, "Yoshi game over there." She's like, "Oh, this one?" And I'm like, "No, that's not Yoshi. That's that one." She's like, "Oh, okay."
I think there's something refreshing about a Walmart where the person doesn't know what the hell I'm talking about.
Yeah.
No,
Where I'm like, yeah, you like you see the name of the game, and they're obviously lost, and you're like, it's that one. It's the one with the dinosaur on it. Or something.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, can I get Pokemon Ruby or what Pokemon Sword or Shield or whatever?
Yeah.
And they're just like, which one is that? It's like, fuck. But it's also like they don't know. Like, it's not like so it's not embarrassing at all. I just feel like, oh, it's this one with the colorful picture on it and this big shield on it. They're like, okay.
It's got the dog holding a sword in his mouth.
Yeah. It's like, you don't judge me.
God.
Yeah.
Buying games is hard.
Well, that's it for The Last of Us.
Thanks for joining us for The Last of Us. Let us know if you're ready for The Last of Us 2.
Yeah, are you Reggie?
Are you Reggie? I'm Reggie. My body's ready.
And I'm Spencer. My body's Spencer.
And I'm Toad.
Hey y'all, don't forget to subscribe to them button mappers.